You know what's strange? Most men over 60 assume their strength is gone, like it just vanished with age. But that's not the truth. It's not gone. It's just buried under years of slowed blood flow, reduced oxygen, and silent tension in places you never think about. And the wild part? You can start reversing that in just 60 seconds a day, with no pills, no workouts, no surgery. Just one common kitchen spice chewed slowly. I know that sounds too simple, but new research is proving exactly why. It works, and why so many older men are seeing results fast. Give me a minute, and I'll show you how this tiny habit could quietly bring your strength back naturally. Most men think feeling weaker is just part of getting older, but there's more going on beneath the surface. I'm not just tired, you're undersupplied. Your muscles aren't fed, your brain isn't charged, and your hormones aren't delivered because blood isn't flowing the way it used to. Dr. James Rowan explains. After 60, many men still have testosterone, but they don't have the circulation to move it where it needs to go. This is why so many older men feel foggy, slow, disconnected, even when their numbers look fine on paper. Now here's what new studies show. Certain natural compounds can stimulate blood vessel function directly through the mouth, and one of the most powerful triggers? A spice you already have in your kitchen. When chewed slowly, it wakes up nitric oxide pathways and gets the engine running. Again, if this already sounds like something you felt, comment 1. If not, drop a 0. I read every reply. Let's start with this. Why strength fades after 60. Let's start with something every man over 60 needs to hear. Your strength hasn't disappeared. It's just harder to access. Don't wake up with that natural energy anymore. You don't move as fast. You don't feel as grounded, and somewhere along the line, you stop feeling like the man you used to be now. Here's what most people get wrong. They think this is just aging, that this loss is inevitable, that you just have to accept it. But it's not true. It's not your age. It's your circulation. It's your internal rhythm. It's your blood not reaching the places that used to power you. It's about flow, blood flow, signal flow hormone. Flow. All the systems that used to work together now feel jammed up, and you can feel that jam in the way your body responds, in the way your mornings feel, in the way your recovery slows down, in the way your focus fades out, even in how you show up in relationships, physically and emotionally. The older you get, the more resistance you build to energy, to movement, to intimacy, to clarity. But here's the good news. The resistance isn't permanent. It's not fixed. And it's not final. It can be reversed safely, naturally, and quickly. You don't need extreme workouts or risky prescriptions or injections that leave you chasing side effects. You don't need powders or boosters that wear off in hours. You need to reset the system, to send the right signal, and the best way to do that is to wake up the part of your body most men ignore. Your mouth. Inside your mouth is a chemical switchboard, one that controls blood vessel dilation, one that activates nitric oxide and sends a message to your entire body to open back up. And there's one spice chewed for just 60 seconds that flips that switch faster than any supplement, without causing side effects or spikes. And no, this isn't just about a tingle or a short-term boost. It's about restoring full-body strength, the kind that builds quietly, steadily, and gives you back the edge you thought was gone. Because strength isn't just about force. It's about movement, and movement begins with flow. Fix the flow, and the man you remember, he starts to come back. The big mistake most older men make. Here's the part that most men get wrong. They think they need to push harder to get stronger. So they lift heavier, take supplements, try risky boosters, or push through workouts they hate. But here's the truth. You can't force strength through a blocked system. It's like trying to drive faster with the parking brake on. You're using more fuel, creating more pressure, and getting less results. The more force you apply, the more resistance you build. And for older men, the resistance isn't just physical. It's hormonal, it's vascular, It's neurological. You feel tired, but don't know why. You push yourself, but don't recover. You feel the edge is missing, but you can't explain where it went, and that's where most men take a wrong turn. They treat strength like it's a muscle issue, when really, it's a flow issue, because without proper blood flow, no amount of protein, pills, or testosterone will help. Think of it this way. You wouldn't water a garden with a kinked hose. You wouldn't expect a car to run if the fuel line was clogged. And you shouldn't expect your body to feel strong if your inner system is restricted. That's why the best solution isn't forcing your body. It's signaling your body. You don't need to push it. You need to remind it how to open again. And that starts in a surprising place. Your mouth, yes. Your mouth inside your tongue are receptors that control nitric oxide release. Nitric oxide tells your blood vessels to relax and expand, and better blood flow means more oxygen, more energy, more drive. That's why chewing the right spice like clove can work so fast, because the signal begins the moment it touches your tongue. That signal doesn't just go to your heart. It travels to your brain, your lower body, even your hormonal system. This isn't about stimulation, it's about restoration. You don't need to chase performance. You need to restore the signal. Once that signal returns, so does your strength. How this spice works, the science behind it. Let's break down why this actually works. Because it's not magic, it's chemistry. Your body produces a compound called nitric oxide. It's a gas that tells your blood vessels to relax, to open up, to allow more blood to move through with less effort. Think of it like this. When nitric oxide is active, your vessels widen, your circulation improves, and everything from your brain to your lower body gets more fuel. But after 60, those nitric oxide levels drop, not because you're broken, but because the triggers stop firing. And when nitric oxide drops, so does energy, so does mental clarity, so does bedroom strength, and so does the feeling of physical confidence. Now, here's where clove comes in. Clove contains compounds like eugenol, flavonoids, and tannins. These natural agents interact with receptors in your tongue, specifically in the soft tissue near your salivary glands. When you chew clove slowly, you stimulate those receptors, and they send a signal to your endothelial cells. Those are the cells that control nitric oxide production. This starts a chain reaction, one that opens up your vessels, improves blood flow, and boosts oxygen delivery throughout your system. And all of that begins in your mouth, not your gut, not your liver, right under your tongue. That's why chewing works faster than swallowing a capsule, because the enzymes in your mouth absorb these compounds directly into your bloodstream without waiting for digestion. This is why traditional cultures use clove as a medicine. Long before anyone had a word for nitric oxide, modern science is now catching up. And researchers are calling the oral nitric oxide pathway one of the most overlooked performance systems in aging men. It doesn't require drugs, it doesn't interfere with other medications, and it's incredibly easy to activate. All it takes is one small clove. Chew gently for about 60 seconds. Let it sit under your tongue. Let your body respond. You may not feel a jolt. You may not feel fireworks, but many men report feeling warmer, more alert, more clear, even after just a few days. And the best part, it's not a spike, it's not fake energy, it's a slow, reliable return to baseline strength, the kind that feels steady, rooted, and real. What to expect in the first week? So let's say you actually try it. You chew one clove a day, no pills, no pressure, just 60 seconds of slow chewing. What can you expect? For the first 2 days, most men feel nothing. And that's normal, because your body doesn't shift overnight. It first needs to recognize the signal. But by day 3 or 4, you may feel a little spark. Your morning energy comes back slightly. You feel more awake when you get up. Your hands feel warmer, and your thoughts feel sharper by the end of the week. Some men notice stronger morning drive, fewer bathroom trips at night, less heaviness in the lower belly, and a subtle return of inner strength. It's not dramatic, but it's real. You're not becoming young again. You're just unlocking what's been waiting underneath. And when paired with proper hydration, better sleep, and short walks, you multiply the results faster than you think. It's simple, it's powerful, and most men never knew was this easy. All from one forgotten spice, hidden signs you're low on circulation, but don't realize it. Most men think low circulation just means cold feet or poor stamina, but the signs can be subtle. And many men over 60 live with them for years without realizing. Here are a few things to watch for. You wake up groggy. Even after a full night's sleep, you get lightheaded when standing quickly. You feel disconnected from your lower body. Sometimes there's tightness around the waist. You get random tingles in your feet or fingers, or your skin looks dull, dry, or thinner than it used to. These aren't always blood pressure problems. They're often signs of poor blood delivery, and when blood can't reach where it's needed, everything else slows down: your strength, your hormones, your energy, even your memory. The brain and body run on flow, and when that flow breaks down, so do other systems. That's why circulation isn't just about performance. It's about clear thinking, stable mood, and staying strong for the long haul. Fix the flow, and you don't just feel better. You feel like yourself again. Why natural blood flow triggers beat pills and boosters. Let's talk about the alternatives, the pills, the powders, the so-called boosters, the expensive treatments you've probably seen on TV or online. Most of them work by forcing your body to respond. They push blood pressure, stimulate nerves, or spike hormone signals temporarily, and for some men, they might work in the short term, but that doesn't mean they're safe or sustainable, because when you force the body, there's always a cost: headaches, crashes, sleeplessness, digestive issues, or worse, dependency. And over time, your natural systems stop responding because the body doesn't like to be bullied. Now, contrast that with natural triggers, like chewing a spice that activates your nitric oxide system through your mouth. You're not forcing anything. You're reminding your body how to do what it was built to do. You're turning on a signal that's been quiet for years, and once that signal flows, everything else improves with it. Blood moves better, tissues get nourished, your muscles respond, your mind feels clearer, and your hormones begin moving again. And it's not just performance we're talking about. It's energy, mood, resilience, and long-term vitality. You don't need to chase youth with chemicals. You need to restore what age has slowed down one layer at a time, without pushing, without crashing, without the side effects that leave you worse off than when you started. Natural blood flow triggers like clove don't hijack your system. They support it. They open the gates instead of kicking the doors. And the more consistent you are, the stronger that system becomes. Men who chew clove daily often say things like, "I feel like I'm finally waking up again," or "I didn't know how shut down I was until things started working again." That's the difference between a spike and a shift. Pills give you a jolt. This gives you your foundation back. So, before you buy the next bottle of quick fix capsules, ask yourself, do I want to force my body to perform? Or do I want to teach it how to come back naturally? Because when the signal returns, so does the man. A final reflection: you've made it this far. That already puts you ahead of most men your age, because most guys won't even ask the question. They won't wonder if there's a better way. They just accept the decline and hope for the best. But not you. You that just learned how one simple spice chewed for 60 seconds a day can gently restart your circulation, support your energy, and help bring back the strength you thought was gone. And not by forcing anything, but by restoring what was already yours. Don't need to live in survival mode. You don't need to feel stuck or less than. You can feel grounded again, clear again, strong again. That starts with small actions. And this might be one of the smallest, but most powerful ones you've ever tried. So, here's your next step. Try it: 1 clove a day for 1 week and see how your body responds. Then come back to this video and let me know what changed. Like this. video if it helps. Subscribe if you want more real advice from someone who's not here to sell you pills, just here to remind you how strong you still are.